Hi, I'm Gabriella. Welcome to my channel where we talk about and do loads of creative things, mainly like theatre acting things, so make sure to subscribe if you like those kinds of things. Recently, I've been making videos talking about my experiences earlier this year with filming on student films, like what's so great about them, why you should do them, how to get involved, and like all the steps and processes towards that. Previously, we've talked about how you find student films, what you need to do, what you need to be able to apply for them, how to do that, what to look for when you're applying, how to find jobs that suit you best. So those are in my last two videos, so go check those out if you haven't already seen them. And so today, now that we know how to find the jobs, how to apply for them, all that process, we're going to talk about what happens once you've been cast. Everything from in between that initial casting and turning up on the day. So on the day will be in my next video, but that in between section is what we're going to go over today. So you've just been cast, you've got your role, what now? Usually the first thing that will happen, if it hasn't already at some point, is there will be an exchange of contact details so that you can contact them, they can contact you, vice versa, and all the relevant information can be communicated, because usually once you've been cast, you will probably move off whatever site you've used to get your casting. Unless it's been through direct communication already, you're probably going to move off that casting site into direct communication. Now, you've probably already confirmed that you can make the dates they're filming on, but if it hasn't already been agreed, for example, if they're waiting till they've cast everyone to arrange dates together that everyone can make, then you'll now be sorting out whether you can make the dates or not. Related to location, they might have given you a vague area like, we're shooting in this area of London, or we're shooting at this university, but they might not have given you specific locations. So this will then be communicated in this time period. And you also need to work out all of the relevant information, such as how you're going to get there, whether you're driving, taking public transport, whether they're going to pick you up from anywhere, whether they'll be covering car parking costs, for example. They should be covering all of your travel costs, unless they've said before that they aren't going to. That's something you should have talked about before, whether they're gonna cover your travel costs or not. You might also want to check about facilities around, like toilets, etc., but they should be communicated to you without having to do any asking. They're normally on the call sheet, but I'll get to call sheets in a minute. If they're organising food for you, there's usually going to be a message checking any dietary requirements before shooting starts. Sometimes they sort things on the day and don't bother to check in advance, but if there is a dietary requirement that you're concerned about, make sure to give them a heads up. Costumes and makeup are probably one of the bigger discussions too, as well as if you've been asked to bring anything else. For example, I provided my own guitar for one of the shoots I did. Occasionally there's going to be a makeup artist there to sort things for you, but the majority of times I had to sort everything myself. So check what they want and always bring makeup with you on the day. Costumes too vary. Sometimes they may provide for you, in which case you'll need to provide sizings. Other times they ask you to bring things with you, so there may be some exchanges where you send photos of what you have, they might send some photos back of what they're looking for. There'll just be a general discussion about this until you agree on what you're going to bring. Often I would end up bringing a couple of options and then we would choose on the day. Finally, they'll be sending some documents through, such as call sheets, scripts, and sometimes they'll do contracts in advance as well, because you need to sign contracts for student films agreeing to let them use your image, basically, especially if they intend to show the film at festivals later on. The contracts are usually pretty similar. They're mainly given templates to use by their university, but it's good just to have a quick check through anyway, just to make sure you know what you're signing. That's kind of a pretty general life advice tip there. Always check what you're signing. You can often get multiple different copies or versions of the script, and everyone formats theirs differently. So it's good to just check through, make sure you're familiar with changes for yourself and other people, because they may have changed your cue lines kind of thing, but also be warned that there may still be changes on the day. Just keep that in mind. And call sheets are great because they basically have all the logistical information as well as everyone's contact information, so you know everyone who's working on the project, everyone who's going to be there on the same day as you. So all the crew and cast, important phone numbers, locations, timings, facilities, health and safety. They even usually have like what the weather forecast for the day is, like loads of different things like that. So you basically have all the information. If you were having any doubts about how legit the production was, this is also great because then you have all the details of the people there, so you can easily do a quick like social media stalk of the people and make sure they are who they say they are. I only didn't have a call sheet from one production, and that's because we were messaging on WhatsApp and it was a very small scale production, and we just agreed that it was okay, we didn't need a call sheet. We all knew what was going on, but they did check that we were okay not having one. Depending on how long there is between you being cast and the production actually starting, or just how organised the students are in general, you could get all this information right away, or you might get it piece by piece, or you might get it like a couple days before production with final details literally like the night before. If there's anything urgent that you need to know like way before, then yeah, definitely check in, but also just trust that you're going to get the information at some point before filming. If it is the case though that you're not getting most of the details till like right before, it is still usual to have some form of communication in that time before. It's only usually like final details that are left to the last minute, so if you haven't heard things and it's getting really close to the date, then maybe like check in. And finally, just some things to do before shooting to get the most out of the day. As soon as you get the script through, learn the lines by heart. Yeah, you don't need to be completely off the book. Like, usually you're only going to film a couple of lines at a time. It's very rare that you'll go through an entire scene in one go, unless that's a stylistic choice of the film, in which case you're probably gonna hear about that before, or you can check before. And usually they're super chilled and you can literally have your script in your hand until right before they call action. So no sweat if you don't learn it, but it is just better if you can learn the lines off by heart, and then you can focus more on the day on how you're delivering the lines, as opposed to just all that you're thinking during the shot is, what's the line after this? What do I say when they reply? So you'll just have a better performance if you're not constantly worrying about getting the lines right. Similarly, make some choices. Don't let them be set in stone, because while you may have had a few character discussions with the director beforehand, usually you'll turn up on the day and actually hear their full vision. So don't come in with a set way of playing things, because it may be completely different to what the director wants, or they may decide to play around with things on the day. Like, character talks before shooting don't tend to be a big thing, so you're probably not going to get a huge amount of information on how to actually play the role, which is why I haven't mentioned them early in the video, because if they happen, they tend to happen during the casting process. So you may turn up on the day and this idea of the character you've built yourself might be completely different from the director's idea, or the other actors might have different ideas that just don't work with how you would see it happening. So just always turn up with a flexible approach and open mind, but it can be good to have some ideas of different ways that you could play what's going on in the scene. You know, have built some idea of a character. The more work you put into the character before, and the more comfortable you are with the lines, the better you're going to find it on the day, and the easier you'll find it to play around with the character, get different things out of it, and overall the better performance you'll get out of it, and therefore the better the footage you're going to get will be. So yeah, that's just been a really quick little video on all the different things that will happen in between casting and filming for student films. And I hope that's been useful for everyone, just what you should be expecting. If you have any more questions, or you're wondering about things that I haven't mentioned, definitely let me know in the comments. If you've got anything to add to anything I've said, if you've got other experience with student films, also let me know, share, that would be really great to hear. And the next one will be about what happens on the day, everything to do with that, so keep an eye out for that video. Yeah, I just hope this has been useful. I think student films are just really great for everyone involved, and they're not regarded highly enough, I don't think. Yeah, if this inspires anyone to go out and try get involved with a student film when they hadn't wanted to before, or hadn't even thought about it before, that would be amazing. So yeah, I make lots of other theatre related, like acting content, so if that's your kind of thing, make sure to subscribe, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon in another video. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you soon. Bye!